Good morning from San Antonio, Texas. Here we are back with another Cuddlist live video talking about professional cuddling. The warmth of touch and meeting amazing people. So here I am on location in a hotel room because, as I've done in another video, sometimes we get asked to come out to different places, people's homes, hotels, outdoors. I'm sure some of us would be, and I know I am, available to cuddling out in a park or in a public place that's semi-private, I'm guessing, or of course coming to our space, to our studios, to our homes, to wherever it is that we as Cuddlists set up. I'm Janet Trevino. I again live in San Antonio, Texas. Please go to cuddlist.com to look for other Cuddlists in your area in case you're not in my area. I know that we have dozens of people and of course hundreds that are in the process of getting trained because this work is awesome, it's amazing, it's changing the world, and we're part of this trailblazing, making this happen. So here's this question. Whenever media picks up stories around professional cuddling, you can imagine the comments. If you just look, you can right now go to Facebook and just put professional cuddling and look at the articles and read the comments. The comments are very, very interesting. And also, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of confusion as to what we do and why we do it, right? And who would do it. So we've chosen three different critiques that we get, and let's kind of develop them, or not develop, but unpack them. Let's unpack them and kind of figure a little bit more about like what's really behind them. So the first one, which is again the easy one, when you hear something that you don't understand, you go, "That's weird. Who would do that? That's really weird." There's a lot of things in our society that we judge, and it's easy to judge things you don't understand. And it's easy to judge things that you think you would never use. It's easy to judge things that, that just are outside of your comfort zone, or you've never heard of it before, and that comment, it's weird. I get it. It's hard. It's hard to understand something that you're just like, that happens. So how I think of it is, I think the greatest thing about Cuddlist is that there's no judgment. We don't judge, and for us, we don't think of things as weird and not weird. And how I see it is more needs-based. I look at what's out there in our society, and I think there's a need. Why not meet it, right? And why not make a business if you can? But for the most part, I don't see things that way, and I don't try to judge people in that way. So being needs-based, this critique is really difficult for me to kind of unpack, because I think of some of my clients that come to me, particularly one that I met last week. And for him, here he is sharing the story of when he lost his daughter. And it's like, weird. When you lose someone that you love, for him it was his daughter, and he's never been able to reestablish that relationship with his wife. How difficult to go through that and to not have anyone that you can turn to that will be there after a year, 2 years, 3 years. I think for him it's been, 7 years since he lost her, and there's not a day that goes by that he doesn't think of her. And who's going to be there to hold him? Still, 7 years later, so often in our society we think you should just be over it. She's gone, you're fine, right? Or she's in a better place. We hear those things. But that changes you. That forever is part of a wound that you have, and then when you and your partner are both wounded, who takes care of who, right? So I think when someone says to me, "That's weird what you do," I'm like, you just don't know the stories. You just don't know about the loss, and you don't know about even if it's their fault. Let's say someone gets divorced and they're on their fifth marriage, there's still loss there, and there's something that just didn't click, and it's not for me to judge if I think that they should receive touch or not. We all deserve it. So anyway, that's my response to it's weird. It's like, no, you don't get it. Number 2 is just get a dog. That's what dogs are for. All right. Now, so I will say I had a dog in my life one time for I don't know, a year. So I'm not a big dog person. I'm just gonna be open and frank with you about that. But from what I know of dogs, and from what I know that dogs for a lot of people are, I mean, it's like their best friend. It is. They are family. They are very important. They're always there. They're loyal, and that's part of how they're inbred. Who they are. That's the intrinsic value of a dog, is that they are always there for us, and that's amazing. And they are cuddly. Most, not all, I'm sure. Oh, there you are. Sorry for the interruption. Dogs are fantastic companions for so many things. They always will be present for you. And then there's also training and obedience, school for dogs. And so I think when you look at all the stuff that we do to be able to train dogs to be the best thing for us, it makes me wonder and think, this is someone you have in your life that is trained to do what you want them to do. Who has learned, of course, how to be obedient, and so yes, they can provide touch, and I think it's a great way to have that continuous everyday touch if you don't have it. Now let's take it to the next step. What happens when that dog, I shouldn't say dog. What happens when you really need someone to talk to? Now you can have a one-sided conversation, and I'm sure some of you think, well, the dog does respond, right? And because I think they have some empathy. But then there's a depth. There's a depth that I think humans are longing for. There's a need that goes beyond just touch. And that's what I love about Cuddlist, is that we do things that are more than just the physical contact. We have this intimate connection that's based on really honest and transparent communication. Communication is everything. So with a dog, dogs are obedient. And I think we all kind of sense this need we want to be wanted, and we want to be heard, and we want someone to want to be with us. And a dog will always do that just because of how they're trained and who they are, but it's not the same. It doesn't have that equality sense to it. I see there's a little conversation. I don't know Cameron. Hey Cameron, I don't know who you are, but hello. I want to say hi too. So the communication, going back to that, I know that in our work that we do value deeply making sure that both parties are comfortable, because it's a choice for both people to be there. Dogs don't usually have that choice intrinsically. It's also about asking for what you want, and it's about knowing how to negotiate and learning how to say no when there's a level of discomfort. That's huge. That's everything, and dogs don't have that ability to do that portion which we provide, which is equal to our touch services that we provide to. So I think I kind of went through that. And of course there's a healing that happens in relationships. I think about some of my clients that come who have wounds that go with their mothers, with a relationship with their mothers, or maybe with a lover, and those wounds can't be filled with the presence of a dog. They're wounds that can begin to heal with the presence of another human being, and having that companionship of a human, not a dog. So there's that. All right. And of course, there's people that have dog allergies to dogs, so they need touch too, of course. Now, lastly, the last point is, why would you pay for that, right? Like, if you pay for it, it's less valuable and doesn't seem as authentic. We have a really interesting view of relationships and money, because nothing is truly free. And I think when it comes to self-care, there's something to be said about being able to ask for what you want and that be the end of the story. So how many of you would feel comfortable going to your partner and saying, I would like for you to hold me for 30 minutes, and when we're done, I'm not going to do anything for you? What would they say? They say, you're selfish. What about me? What about my needs, right? What about you taking care of, or doing something for me, like washing the dishes, or doing something that I really like? I think some people hesitate to ask for what they want because they know that in return they're going to be asked for something, and I think that's fair. That's completely fair in a relationship, and in any relationship. I'm talking just not even romantic, but if you ask anything from anyone, more than likely they're going to probably want something back. That's just who we are as humans. So imagine just coming in for a session for an hour, getting a chance for me or for some other cuddlist to hold you That's amazing. And then there'd be no expectations other than you've paid it, right? You've paid your $80 for an hour, and this can be all about you, and you walk out not having to feel that pressure of, oh geez, now what is she gonna ask for? And I guess that's, not that that's bad, again, I'm saying that that's really healthy and good to have that fairness and balance in a relationship. The problem is when it's expected and when it's like you're not able to ask freely. I think of one client who recently told his partner that, you know, he said, would you hold me for an hour? And the partner was like, oh, I don't think I'm comfortable with that. Exactly. We're trained. We have these abilities. We enjoy it. That's also a really important part of this. We really enjoy doing this work and being present with people. Allow us, the professionals, to do these things that I think are really difficult to find elsewhere. And when I think about true self-care, this is what this work is. It's for you to come and allow yourself to be cared for by someone who, again, who's a professional, who you know is not going to get attached to, who you know knows our boundaries, has a code, can keep you in the safe container where you know that this is where we're going to be. And it feels really good to have that kind of freedom. I mean, really, it's what it is. So yeah, you do pay for it, but I want you to know, like, kind of recapping that point, most things in our world aren't free, and this is probably the closest we can get to true self-care for you. So I think I'm done. I kind of addressed the three. If you have any comments and pushback, oh yes, pushback. I love pushback. If you disagree, if you feel like maybe I missed something, or I'm sure there's many things I could have said. These are just kind of what came up at the top of my head, and of course wanting to share stories with you as well about what I've experienced and what I've heard. Let me know. And again, I'm Janet Trevino signing off from San Antonio, Texas. Please go to Cuddlist.com and check out the other Cuddlists that are there. Try one out. It can't hurt. Get a new experience if you're just kind of curious. And those of you who have those deep needs for touch, know that they're valid, know that it's completely okay, know that there's nothing wrong with you, that this is just part of how we were created as human, and go out and get it. And of course, ask. If you're gonna get touched, always ask first. All right, love y'all. Have a great day. Take care.